Sometimes in the footy audience probably think the media is just a certain thing if you want to do it. But I've heard it's quite competitive. What's it like to be a footballer who then moves to media as a career?
Yeah, it was quite. No, easy is not the word, and that's the first word that come to mind. But,
It's easy.
No, it wasn't. Trust me, it wasn't. But I did the work before I retired. So I did about 8 to 10 years of media work before I retired.
Right.
So
And that was a goal of yours to do
and
that?
it was. And I had a bit of a deal with the footy club as well, saying that, if my form drops, don't pull the media, because that's the first thing that the club's concerned to take away from you, because they want you to focus back in on where you're going. So I had a good relationship with the club to say, no, this is what I want to do post-footy, so let me develop myself to do that. And they were awesome.
Yeah.
So they let me do it regardless of where my form was at.
Great.
And then from there, so because I did the work, once I stepped and retired, and I'm an organised sort of guy, I have to have things in place ready to go. So I had it all set up that I'd step into Fox Footy once I finished. So it was a great transition, and they've been amazing. Like, I've started with them in 2011 and been there since, and it's good. We had to do the yards early, like Brisbane, like Melbourne to Brisbane one night, Brisbane to Perth the next morning, and when we're travelling, and as a youngster in their list, you do have to do the yards.
Do you love it?
And I love it. That's probably the thing is, I just love being at the footy.
Yeah.
So I don't care what game it is, you know what I mean? If I was in Hobart the other week doing Adelaide v North Melbourne, but still loving it because I'm at the footy, working in the sport that I love. So I will never complain one bit.
Why do you love footy?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think I love the competitive nature of it. I love the skill of it as well. So they're probably the two main things that I love. And then when getting the opportunity to play, the adrenaline rush is like no other. Like when you're warming up in that last 5 minutes before you enter the ground, it's hard to describe because everything's going. Like you got the butterflies, you got this adrenaline hit. You've got blokes bumping into you. It's just really cool to be a part of. And then you run out to the roar and through the banner, and then it's probably where you calm down the most because you're up, and then you feel at home when you're on the field. You go into sort of this zone where people ask, "Do you hear anything?" And honestly, I never really heard anything because you're just in this zone of work and
you really don't hear anything.
You really don't. Well, personally, I know, and I played in the goal square a lot and still really didn't hear too much that was going on behind the fence directed my way. So it was because you're just in this zone of concentration, I think, that you get caught in that.
I've never been good at sport, but I do perform live a lot, and I had a feeling. I performed last night, as I mentioned before, and I did have a feeling. I'm like,
what are your feelings like prior as you're about to go on?
All I feel before is fucking, this is all shit. All I want to do is get to the place where I feel really in control and really comfortable, because it's almost like before you're thinking of all the what ifs and what could go wrong.
Exactly.
And then as soon as you're in it, all you have to worry about is very A to B, B to C.
But isn't it amazing though, because the feelings are exactly the same, but isn't it amazing that you've got all that, but once you step up, you might be thinking, oh, what's my first line? What's my first joke? What am I doing? But once you step up naturally,
fully comfortable,
because you're prepared, right? So that's the key to it. That's the key to it all.
It's a mixture of self-confidence,
and
then also doubt as well, or like the worry.
You have self-doubt. Yeah. Like, I used to drive to the game thinking, am I going to get a kick today?
Yeah.
Am I going to nail my first 5 minutes up on stage?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. But it's amazing that once you step up there, it just all flows for you. So it becomes more a natural.
Do you feel like that
thing.
In front of camera as well now as well?
A little bit. It's a lot more natural and a lot more comfortable. Early days, you're still learning the craft and some of the things. But I've been lucky. You mentioned Jason Dunstall before, but he's probably taken me under his wing for the last probably 20 years, to be honest, even before while I was playing. When I did some shows with him. So
he mentors a bit, or?
A little bit. Look, he's just a star guy. So, and there's about 5 other guys at Fox that I've done a lot of work with, from Eddie Maguire at the very top to Anthony Hudson, the best caller in the game, right through to the newcomers. And I work a lot with Eddie Betts at the moment and have a ball with him. So it's really cool.
Eddie's killing it.
He's doing such a good job, and he's improving all the time. And we're starting to see the real Eddie, a bit more comfortable now. And he's really funny.
I think were you on Friday, the Saturday night, Geelong D's?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, he was on there, and he was like, Bailey Fritsch kicked this incredible pocket
the dribble goal,
and he goes, it's really incredible and what a cool thing. You know, it's so great. And then someone said, how many out of 10, how many of those who kickers? All of them, I kick all of them. Just this pure arrogance.
But you know what? He's right. He would have kicked all of them. But now we're starting to actually see that with Ed. Yeah. And he's an hilarious man when he gets going.
No, got to get him on. Got to get him on. Is there a dynamic in the media of ex-footy players who come from this sort of, you know, this different world? How is it seeing footy players? Is there a sport vibe to it? Is everyone nice? Or is there competitiveness?
No. Everyone's. I think we're really good with each other because we see each other on the weekends. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But we. At Fox, we've got some guys that have achieved so much in the game. Like we're talking like Dermy 5 day, 5 night, you know, Jonathan Brown with all his flags. The list goes on with the amount of achievements and some of the huge names that have been in the game. So, you know, honestly, when I first started, it was the old leave the egos at the door, and that has been the case the whole time at Fox's.
That's cool.
And the good part is that we've got the staff there, the producers, all the staff are like next level.
Right.
And the way they look after us, you know, they produce all the content and everything you see, and we're talking during the week to set it all up.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to deliver it, but they set it up for us, you know, so all the vision, everything. So it's there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that no one sees. And the guys and girls that do that are just absolutely brilliant.
Nerd stuff now. So you're doing like Saturday night. What's it called? Saturday Night Fever? No, the Saturday day.
Yeah, after the game. Yes.
Yeah, or the whole show.
The whole show. Yeah.
You do the pre, and then do you go into another room and watch it? And when you're in that room, are you like all just sitting around on a couch, or
pretty much?
Is there food?
Yeah. So what?
What is there? Do they put food? Do they put food out for you, or do you bring your own?
No,
food?
We'll have dinner. Yeah.
And you Uber it?
No, it's all organised.
Fox Footy get you food?
Through work, yeah. So we'll have dinner set up, and basically we sit on the couch. There's a couple of couches. We've got normally 2 TVs because there's 2 games going on. We've got the one that we have to focus on with an eye on the other one.
You're writing notes?
We're writing notes. The producers are sitting with us, and we're like, okay, we'll see this passage of play here. Let's lab that up, and we'll go get it labbed up so you can all the drawings and all the highlights really sort of punch a little bit more and helps us describe it a little bit better. So we're working through all of that. And
what are you eating?
What are we eating? Asian fusion is probably the number one on the menu.
That's very South Melbourne of it.
Yeah. I get over that though.
Is that like a miss-chew kind of situation?
Well, I don't know that does ring a bell though. I think we've had that before, but I get over it a little bit.
Yeah, because it's always be like a curry or something.
So I'll get a side grilled or something like that. Just to
David Zeta's always there's a schnitz nearby as well.
There is. I get a schnitz every now and then.
Yeah,
because I just can't do the same. I like it, but the same thing.
It's heavy as well.
Week. Yeah.
If I was on TV, I would not want to be burping either.
A lot of it's chili based as well. And that doesn't sit that well with me either.